Plants are autotrophs, or they are the producers which convert the light energy into chemical energy in the form of food. As we all know that the chlorophyll molecule absorbs the solar energy in the form of photons. So carbon dioxide concentration, which is another very important external factor or raw material for photosynthesis. As we all know, light reaction takes place during daytime. So dark reactions are more sensitive to an increase in temperature. Hi everyone, welcome back to session 7 of chapter 13 of your syllabus called Photosynthesis in Higher Plants. Myself, B. Shobha Rani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in the last session we studied about the very important concepts about photosynthesis, like we studied about the C3 plants, the C3 pathway, then the C4 pathway, then we studied about the light reaction, the dark reaction, light reaction involving the cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Then we studied about dark cycle, or the what we call it otherwise as Calvin cycle, or C3 pathway also. Now, what are we going to study in this particular session? As we all know that photosynthesis, plants are the producers or the autotrophs which utilize the raw materials like the carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. So, it utilizes what? Carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll to prepare the food called starch. So as we all know that plants are autotrophs, or they are the producers which convert the light energy into chemical energy in the form of food. As we all know, plants not only prepare food for themselves but also provide food for the heterotrophs, as we know, even for the consumers. And consumers depend upon the producers or the plants for their food. And also there is a very important thing to be noted, that is oxygen, which is evolved as a byproduct of photosynthesis, is very essential for the living organisms. Hope you remember the chemical equation, that is 6 molecules of water combined with 6 molecules of carbon dioxide in presence of light and chlorophyll. In presence of light and chlorophyll forms 1 molecule of glucose C6H12O6 plus 6 molecules of oxygen are evolved. So very important are the 4 very important factors for the process of photosynthesis. So we classify the raw materials or the factors responsible to carry on the process of photosynthesis into like we differentiate them into internal factors and external factors. So what are internal factors? Like for example, the chlorophyll molecule, all that is called as internal factor, whereas external factor is sunlight, carbon dioxide, they are all called as external factors. So now let us understand. Here you can see the beautiful picture of Blackman, who proposed a law called as law of limiting factor. Law of limiting factor. Law of limiting factor. Now let us understand the factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. As I said, photosynthesis is a very, very important anabolic process or a constructive process which utilizes 4 very important raw materials, that is carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll, to prepare the prepared food of plant called starch. As we know, starch is not soluble in water, it is converted into glucose. So here 6 molecules of water combined with 6 molecules of carbon dioxide in presence of light and sunlight to form 1 glucose molecule, thereby releasing 6 molecules of oxygen. As I said, this process is very, very important process because it converts the solar energy, that is the sunlight, into chemical energy in the form of food. As we know, producers not only produce food for themselves to carry on the various processes, but also provide food for the consumers, as the consumers depend upon the producers for their food, and at the same time release what? Oxygen. As we know, all living organisms require oxygen for their biological respiration. Now let us understand, as I said, the factors that are responsible for the process of photosynthesis are broadly classified into internal factors and external factors. So now let us understand what are the factors that are affecting the rate of photosynthesis. So factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis influenced by both internal factors and external factors. So here factors are both internal factors as well as external factors. Right. Now, let us understand one very important concept called limiting factor. What do you mean by limiting factor? If the chemical process is affected by more than one factor. So, as we know, there are many factors, internal factors like carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, chlorophyll, all these are called as factors. So, if the chemical process, that is photosynthesis, is affected by more than one factor, then its rate will be determined by factor which is nearest to its minimal value, or factor which directly affects the process if its quantity is changed. See what a beautiful explanation is given for limiting factor. What do you mean by limiting? The minimal value we can say that is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. So, if chemical processes of it is affected by more than one factor, then its rate will be determined by the factor. Among the factors, the rate of the photosynthesis will be determined by the factor which is nearest to its minimal value. What do you mean by nearest to its minimal value? Factor which directly affects the process if its quantity is changed. If its quantity is changed, it is called the limiting. So this law of limiting factor was given by Blackman in 1905. So he is the scientist by name Blackman in 1905. Hence this law is called as what? Law of limiting factor. So what are the factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis? We classify them into internal factors and external. Both the factors are very much important or responsible for the rate of photosynthesis. For example, like temperature. As we know, photosynthesis takes place during daytime. More the temperature, more will be the rate of photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide, lesser the concentration of carbon. Anyhow, we are going to study about the factors, both the internal factors and the external factor. So what is limiting factor? If chemical process is affected by more than one factor, then its rate will be determined by factor which is nearest to its minimal value. That is factor which directly affects the process if its quantity is changed. So this law of limiting factor was given by Blackman in 1905. Now, let us understand light. Light is called as a very important external factor. As we all know that the chlorophyll molecule absorbs the solar energy in the form of photons. We have already studied about two types of photosystem. Photosystem 1 having a wavelength of 700 nm and photosystem 2 having a wavelength of 680 nm. So solar energy, sunlight is very, very important for the chlorophyll. When it gets excited, absorbs the solar energy in the form of photon, gets excited and expels an electron that is passed on through a series of electron acceptors. So now let us understand how light is a very important factor that affects the rate of photosynthesis. So incident light, that is carbon dioxide fixation rate, but at higher light intensities. So at higher light intensities, the rate does not increase further as other factors become limiting. Higher the rate of light, but because if only light is higher but the remaining factors are minimal value, then definitely it is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. So higher light intensities, in higher light intensities the rate does not increase, the rate of higher the rate, but other factors also should be in an optimum measure. So if it is less, the other factors are less, and if only light intensity is more, then definitely it does not further as other factors become limiting. Limiting means what? Minimal value. Minimal value. So light is rarely a limiting factor. So usually light, sunlight is so very, it will never be a limiting factor with the except for shady plants of dense forest. So like for example, in dense forest, canopy will be there, so the light may not be able to reach the plant. So in that case, maybe light will be a limiting factor. If not, light is during daytime, light is sufficient light is there, so light can never be rarely is a limiting factor, with the exception like shady plants of dense forest, because light saturation occurs at 10% of the full sunlight. So light can never be rarely is a limiting factor. Beyond a point, if incident light is increased, then it leads to decrease in photosynthesis. So if the incident light is more, then it is going to decrease the rate of photosynthesis. Why? Because the other factors are going to be minimal value due to breakdown of chlorophyll also. So light is one of, so when we are discussing about the factors which is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis, and light, which is called as an external factor, is also a very important factor to determine the rate of photosynthesis. So higher light intensity, the rate does not increase further, because as the other factors become limiting or minimal value. Light is rarely a limiting factor, with the exception for like shady plants that in a dense forest, because light saturation occurs at 10% of the full sunlight. So because light saturation occurs at 10% of the full sunlight, then beyond a point, if sunlight is increased, then it leads to what? It decreases in photosynthesis due to breakdown of chlorophyll. Now, carbon dioxide concentration. So as we know, light is one very important factor. Sunlight, the raw materials. Sunlight, then carbon dioxide, water, and chlorophyll. So we have already discussed about sunlight, a very important one. Now let us discuss about carbon dioxide concentration, which is a very important factor. And as we know, atmosphere is a source of carbon dioxide, and it is a major limiting factor, usually low in atmosphere, that is 0.03 to 0.04%. Up to 0.5% increase the rate of carbon dioxide fixation, as we have already seen in Dark reaction. So carbon dioxide fixation, which is utilized for the synthesis of glucose. So usually major carbon dioxide concentration is a major limiting factor, usually low in atmosphere, that is 0.03 to 0.04%. Up to 0.05% carbon dioxide concentration increases the rate of carbon dioxide. But greater than this, again, as I said, just like light intensity, if is more, but the other factors are minimal, then again it is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. So if the concentration of carbon dioxide is beyond more than 0.05%, then it is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis, and it is going to become a damaging effect. Though both C3 and C4 plants show increase in photosynthesis at high intensity accompanied by high carbon dioxide concentration, the saturation point for C3 is obtained at higher concentration as compared to C4. Therefore, CO2 concentration is more of limiting factor particularly for C3 plants. When we say C4 plants are more efficient than C3 plants. So carbon dioxide concentration is a very important major limiting factor for C3 plants. How? Though both C3 and C4 plants increase in rate of photosynthesis at high intensity accompanied by high carbon dioxide concentration, the saturation point for C3 is obtained at higher concentration as compared to C4. Therefore, CO2 concentration is more of limiting factor for C3 plants. Increased carbon dioxide concentration is beneficial for greenhouse crops. I think you might have come across greenhouse crops, particularly such as tomatoes and bell pepper plants, right? So carbon dioxide concentration, which is another very important external factor or raw material for photosynthesis, becomes a major limiting factor, usually low in atmosphere. We know the source of carbon dioxide is the atmosphere, and usually low in atmosphere, that is 0.03% to 0.04%. Up to 0.05%, if it is the carbon dioxide concentration is, then it is going to increase the rate of carbon dioxide fixation in the dark cycle, but in the dark area. But if it is more than 0.05%, then definitely it is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis and is going to become a damaging effect. But for C3 plants, the carbon dioxide concentration becomes a major limiting factor than compared to C4 plants. Though both C3 and C4 show increase in rate of photosynthesis at high intensity accompanied by high carbon dioxide concentration, the saturation point for C3 is obtained at higher concentration as compared to C4. So, it should be higher concentration. So, therefore, carbon dioxide concentration will become a major limiting factor for C3 plants. Then increased CO2 concentration is beneficial particularly to greenhouse crops because it's in a closed condition such as tomatoes and bell pepper. Then temperature. Yes, of course, even temperature is also one external factor which is going to affect the rate of, as we all know, light reaction takes place during daytime. So dark reactions are more sensitive to an increase in temperature. Suppose if the temperature is also more, like for example, when we come across the geographical area, sometimes the temperature will be more even in the evenings, like. So dark reactions are more sensitive to an increase in temperature because dark reaction is a reaction which is going to take place, which is light independent reaction. So temperature is definitely going to become a very important factor for the dark reaction. So temperature, the dark reactions are more sensitive to an increase in temperature. C4 plants respond more to an increase in temperature as compared to C3 plants. So C4 plants are usually the plants which are grown are adapted to dry temperate regions. So definitely they are going to respond more than the C3 plants. So C4 plants respond more to an increase in temperature as compared to C3 plants. Adaptations according to habitat also affect temperature optima. Tropical plants have higher temperature optima compared to temperate regions and also weather. Water stress causes tomato to grow. I think all of us know. Like for example, tomato is very, very important apparatus, we can say, for the exchange of gases. So if stoma is closed during daytime, then definitely the exchange of gases will not take place and that is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. So water stress, as we know that the opening and the closing of stomata is also regulated, and water stress causes stomata to close. So obviously and hence less carbon dioxide is available. So the exchange of gases will be affected. Exchange of gases will be affected. Exchange of gases will be affected. So water stress causes the leaves to wilt. Wilt means fall. So the water stress causes the leaves to wilt, thereby reducing their surface area and metabolic activity as well. So temperature is also one very important external factor which is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. Dark reactions are more sensitive to an increase in temperature. C4 plants respond more to an increase in temperature as compared to C3 plants. As we all know, the C4 plants like maize, sugarcane are usually are the plants which are adapted to dry tropical regions. So than the C3 plants. So adaptations according to habitat also affect temperature optima. Tropical plants have higher temperature optima compared to the other temperate regions. So water stress also causes what? Stomata to close and hence CO2 is less available. Water stress causes the leaves also to wilt. Water is also one very important factor, then thereby reducing their surface area and metabolic activity as well. Then moving on to the last, as we already studied about Blackman's law of limiting factor. So what is this Blackman's law of limiting factor? So when a process is conditioned so as to its rapidity by several factors, the rate of the process decreases with the pace of the slowest factor. So for example, as we have come across carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, then chlorophyll, all these are the factors. If any of the factors which is of the minimal value, then it is going to affect the rate of photosynthesis. So here you can see photosynthesis. Here the carbon dioxide, H2O optimum, so carbon dioxide concentration, the rate of photosynthesis. So which was put across by a scientist by name Blackman in 1905. So when a process is conditioned so as to its rapidity by several factors, the rate of the process decreases with the pace of the slowest factor. Then it is called Blackman's law of limiting factor. So hope you have understood the concepts what I have explained in this particular chapter called photosynthesis in higher plants. This is a very important chapter from examination point of view, where most of the questions will come from this particular chapter, like about the light reaction, maybe about the cyclic, or write the Z scheme of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. As we know, non-cyclic is also called as Z scheme. Then also about the dark reaction or the Calvin cycle, then also about photorespiration, then about the C3 plants, C4 plants, and the factors that are going to affect the rate of photosynthesis, may it be both the internal factors as well as the external factors. So we have studied how the factors, may it be temperature, light, carbon dioxide, all, even chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very important because chlorophyll A will absorb the solar energy in the form of photons and gets excited and is going to expel an electron that is going to pass on through a series of electron acceptors. And light also, we know about the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. And we also studied about Blackman's law of limiting factor. So when a process is conditioned so as to its rapidity by several factors, the rate of the process decreases with the pace of the slowest factor. So with this, I have completed this interesting chapter of your syllabus called photosynthesis in higher plants and in higher plants. So I'll be back in the coming session with yet another interesting chapter. As we know, most of the physiological chapters are quite interesting, and this is one such physiological process which is happening around us in the plant. So this is the knowledge. From that knowledge point of view, we get an idea as to how the plants are able to manufacture their food. As we know, they are the wonderful autotrophs, and they manufacture their own food, and they are the producers. And we as heterotrophs depend upon the autotrophs for our food. Hope you have understood all the concepts of this wonderful chapter called photosynthesis in higher plants. So I'll be back with yet another interesting physiological process in the coming session. Till then, goodbye and thank you.